so interesting for me to still see Mindfreak persisting with this 3-3 setup. Obviously, it makes sense now. It's working at the moment, but I wonder if some issues are going to arise for them come playoffs when they do have to force 2-2-2.
And the caliber of team will be higher as well there, and they'll be able to punish any sort of misplays that you might have with not enough time practicing that. So, I mean, this is a good opportunity for Mindfreak to practice 2-2-2 if they wanted to, but I think they're more concerned on securing that second seed or getting that semi-final berth.
Oh!
That's a good sleep to counter the hold hook there. That's one way to stop a piggy getting you. Very
to make some bacon for Mindfreak.
It is time to make some bacon.
Plus dives on. It does get the Zarya bubble as well. Lots of charge for Addy. But so far the damage is being done by Melbourne Mavericks. Mindfreak all getting low. Who will be the first to drop? It's going to be Kiki. As he gets D-Mech. Soggy collects him. Exerst focused on the dive now for Bust, but he'll get hooked on up still. Exerst does fall. Rez is successful, and so too is Rocket Barrage. That's a good one. Lots of damage. Only the one kill. That's on the Bust, but everyone else was cleaned up nicely by Melbourne Mavericks.
Yeah, very flashy from Soggy there, showing his power of prowess, and that's the defense held. And now Exerst is getting close to that Bob, and that can be difficult to deal with this side of Mindfreak. They don't really have any big critical strike damage, or critical hit damage, I should say, to take that out. You don't have the Zenyatta to just throw orbs into him, or actually, you have like barely any crit damage on Mindfreak. It's really just the Lucio and Kiki.
There's some sleep dance being thrown backwards and forwards, and it's a hook that is going to be the one that successfully lands.
This defense is looking better and better every moment.
Oh, Exerst. No one saw it.
It's alright. It can be difficult. But we see Mindfreak struggling again for the second week in a row on the attack of Hollywood.
Yeah, well, that was we've only seen one fight.
Oh, 2 minutes on the clock, and look at these ultimates, Jordan. That is 63%. It's not what you want to see. But Bust will go in and try and fight.
Look at this Bust guy. He's a gamer. Magic School Bust. Let's go. This Frizzle. Rise up. Bust destroys the supercharger. Kiki will continue to try and push on forward. Has got self-destruct available, and you're saying Smash, this is looking much better for Mindfreak. They've locked them all in the cafe. Rez actually does come across from Razor. That might be the table turner. Mindfreak perhaps a little bit more difficulty ahead here, although missed hook for Slip Chip does give another opener, and a nice nade on through Mackie means he is going to go down quite easily. Mindfreak has cleaned it up fairly comfortably. No worries there.
They certainly have, and that's a first point cap for Mindfreak, so they'll be progressing into the streets phase with a decent enough time bank, and some ultimates coming online too. Addy getting close to that Graviton Surge, but the rest of the boys aren't going to have much to deal with him. You see Exerst now swapping over to that Widowmaker, Soggy going onto the Pharah, Slip Chip onto the Sombra, so they are going out for this 3 DPS composition, which does counter Mindfreak's composition a little bit. The key will be Addy to see what he catches in this Graviton Surge. Will he be able to catch the pesky Sombra, or maybe go for a cheeky Pharah Mercy grab on the walls? They're always fun.
Sounds pretty good. Nothing really to follow the grab though, so it seems to be damage from Mindfreak.
With all these low HP heroes, Bust can get lots of value out of this Graviton Surge. You can kill almost anyone in there.
Yep.
But Soggy will be the one that's doing all the killing at the moment, as he takes out August before the fight.
Yes, and that is going to slow things down quite substantially for Mindfreak. And the fact that they're now sort of isolated in a way is going to mean Soggy has some more avenues for damage while we're waiting for the respawns.
I'm not sure if they know what they're doing versus this. They are going to come out now and jump and make the dive, and this is going to be the start of the fight.
Or is it? Everyone just backs away. Melbourne Mavericks not too keen on taking anything here. They're happy to give up some progression. Waiting for the pick to come out from Exerst. It's a grab onto Nellery, which will be the end of him. But now the EMP, the counter engage from Mindfreak. Surely this works nicely. Having started off well against Addy, Rez comes across onto Nellery, and Exerst is just hitting everything at this point, looking for more as he grapples up high into the sky.
Yeah, he's coming alive. Oh, Wilco gets his head taken off. You like to see that. Well, you don't like to see that if you're a Mindfreak fan, but you like to see that if you're a fan of Widowmaker.
You ready to mav up, Smash?
Oh, maving.
Are you maving a good time right now?
I'm maving a good day, actually.
That's good.
Slip Chip finds 62% of his ult at the end of that fight, and I guess that's what they're going to be trying to wait for on the side of this Melbourne Mavericks roster. They really want this EMP every fight versus this heavy tank composition. Wilco has the beat drop here. Will he be able to use it in time to survive though?
Well, we're looking for perhaps
He
the
attacked.
pile driver into Rocket Barrage combo. It hasn't really been executed quite how they would have wanted it to, but Exerst is hitting, I mean, it just, again, I'm just going to say it, broken record at this point, but he's hitting everything. August goes fairly low off the back of some mana damage, but seems to be okay for now. Still looking for more headshots is Exerst, but pressured away by Kiki. That's better from Mindfreak.
Rally comes out and they're just going to have to kite it off and re-engage later with this EMP. Neller is getting dangerously close to that hamster ult too, and that with EMP can be quite potent. Exerst getting pressured out, but he does have Razor with him.
EMP for Slip Chip connects onto 3 Mindfreak players. Where's the rest of the engage from Melbourne Mavericks? Well, Exos is going to get one on the bus, but that's not enough to win the fight just yet, particularly with Nellery going down and answering main tank death. Exos, you really need to be hitting these to save the fight, but he just can't, and he gets collapsed upon by Mindfreak. That's much better.
Mindfreak were able to run away from Nellery's mines there as they were EMP'd. They had no answer. He mined on the cart, but nobody was there. Mines go to waste, and Mindfreak will capture out this point and have not as much time as they'd like to into the third point. It can be quite difficult, but Melbourne Mavericks are on a composition that doesn't really do well into this third point. As we see some stagger spawns getting pushed out too. Slip, Razor and Exerst actually caught out.
And this is probably the point of the map where Mindfreak get the most out of their composition.
Yeah, I think Bus will try and swap to the Reinhardt here, or maybe... Yeah, no, he's going to stay on the Winston. Okay, best of the Orisa, he's going to try and stay on the Winston. Maybe he drops the bubble on top of the Winston, or on top of the enemy Orisa, cuts the healing off.
He's fairly close to Primal Rage as well.
And especially with that Graviton Surge, you can put a lot of damage into that with the Winston. Looks to be very aggressive with Addy hiding up on the high ground. He's looking to drop on top of them and get this Graviton Surge off. Looks like they know about it though, they scouted it with their Pharah.
Indeed, Graviton Surge. He's going to connect onto Nellery, who just fortifies and says, oh, I'm out of here. No worries about that one for Melbourne Mavericks. Slip Chip does get caught a little bit. Kiki, however, not sure how that has happened, but Kiki, it's a 1-for-1.
He didn't get the memo and he ended up in the wrong place at the wrong time, but they're still going aggressive on the side of Mindfreak.
Yeah, certainly. Busters locking Soggy into a corner, not interested in the pesky mosquitoes anymore. I'm a big monkey, he says. And, well, I don't think Melbourne Mavericks are big fans of big monkeys, but Bust now still alive. It's a nano boost right onto him. Great work from Mindfreak to keep him alive. And that has reaped its benefits, hasn't it? Razor, last one on the point. Soggy, a desperate attempt with the Rocket Barrage, but won't be able to do a whole lot in 29 seconds. Map is capped.
I don't know if Bust would like you calling him a big monkey.
He's a big monkey.
Well, I mean, you can say that to him at MEO if he's there. I mean, I'm a bit bigger than I am.
Monkey see, monkey do. I'll give him a banana.
He's a very good monkey player though.
Yeah.
Shown time and time again to be a very good monkey player. As they finish out the map, probably with not as much time as they would have liked, considering we've seen teams cap this map out with 3-4 minutes remaining in some cases. No real interesting compositions there. I mean, the Melbourne Mavericks swapped to the DPS on the second phase, and they got some good fights out of it. Exerst obviously had some highlight reel moments, but when it makes it very difficult swapping into that third phase, because you really want to be on more of a stationary comp on that third phase. You don't really want to be on the DPS comp, because there's not enough room to operate. There's not enough angles.
It's Area 51 smash.
We
found it.
You going?
Yeah.
Alright. See you there, mate.
I've been and gone smash. That's how you ended up on Contenders.
Crikey, what happened to Ben Green?
Oh well, I mean he's fine. I've just replaced him with you.
That was green waste actually there.
Yeah. It was just sort of like, hang on.
Hang on.
That's convenient.
He's not in there, is he?
I know.
Good.
Well, look, all I'm going to say is Ben died in my XCOM playthrough and you didn't, so that's why.
Well, we know who the superior one is then.
Yep.
The ultimate cheerleader. That's what I'm known as. Mindfreak running a Reinhardt instead of a Winston here, so their comp is less adaptable, but it's shown to be a strong composition on this Hollywood defense from other teams. Let's see if they can replicate the success. Melbourne Mavericks going for that double damage boost composition again. There's a lot of damage to pump into this Reinhardt shield. I don't know if Bust is going to be too happy when he sees this coming around the corner at him.
Well, not much you can do about it. What you saw, it's going to be a lot onto Kiki to try and negate most of the damage here. Looks so going to be dangerous from Slip Chip.
Oh, Bust going off the top rope.
Well, he wants to engage the fight here. He doesn't want to give Melbourne Mavericks the room to set up. Unfortunately, the cage wasn't quite stuck for Mindfreak, and will drop early, which is going to mean, well, no speed boost for one, the lack of healing for another. Mindfreak are really going to struggle off the back of losing those two players. Bus then falls. His shield gets broken. This will be a really quick crap house for Mavericks.
Yeah, ideal situation for Mavericks where they get the engage. Mindfreak get the engage, but they don't get anything off it. They're able to just steady up. Kiki doesn't get the one shot on the Mercy, so they're just able to push in together and do lots and lots of damage. Soggy commits the barrage to this fight, and Kiki gets a kill on Razor. Things could get interesting here with the nano boost on August.
Yeah, I was going to say, Aki's actually invested the nano boost. How have Mindfreak turned this around? Oh dear, Melbourne Mavericks, that was I mean, it was on a silver platter, really.
Oh,
and then the reinforcements come across just in time. Goodness me, that was close.
It's heartbreaking. He stuck the Roadhog, but it's not going to get much, mate. Addy wasting his pulse bomb, but it's a stick stat in the book.
A stick stat?
Yeah, well, you know, pulse bomb stuck.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Stick stat. Yeah, the more you know.
But now he's stuck on a Tracer, which isn't optimal here. Bust on the big monkey, though. You like to see that.
I don't know that he's going to be a big monkey. Although, gets the heals back on up. Oh, it's gone all wrong for Mindfreak. Nellery slip chip. They found those picks and it's on the point at the moment. Bust is nowhere near Primal Rage. This isn't going to last too much longer unless Kiki does something magical with the self-destruct, if he could even get it up in time, which he won't.
2016 Kiki would have won those, but not nowadays, I reckon. As the point will be finished up by the Melbourne Mavericks. Surely Mindfreak can't come back in here. They do not. Now, will Mavericks change composition, or will they fancy themselves as Razor hits his head on the roof, and now he's stuck down here. He'll be begging for mercy. There he goes.
I'm taking care of you.
Soggy picking his fella up. But now there's a lot of ultimates on the side of Melbourne Mavericks. They have that damage boost from the bongo drum, and they've got a barrage of Soggy, takes out Aki, and Swilko.
How does that even happen?
A massive mistake from the side of Mindfreak. They sent their supports out first, they didn't have the Matrix covering them, and they just get picked off by the damage boosted rockets. So, that's rough, as we see the replay. Oh.
That's like just, I mean, that's pretty bad. Yeah.
Yeah, it's rough, but they've still got enough time to get this early-ish fight you want to be fighting, so they'll still get 2 fights on this phase. And Bus goes in with the boost.
Well, Soggy has a rocket barrage. Thought he was going to go for it there, but it's actually the Dragon Strike that does come across first from Mavericks. Kiki, however, 2 with the self-destruct. Totally unhelped. Just thrown it in there, chucked it in and seen what happens. Actually finishes Nellery off himself as well. 3 kills for Kiki in the fight, a nice one. And Mindfreak, it doesn't matter too much if you lose a couple of players. As you win the next fight.
Yeah, and they did commit the Dragon Strike and the Orisa drum there as well, so ultimates were committed from the side of Mindfreak, and no, they're not. This is an awkward position because Mindfreak are going to go very aggressive every single fight, and they do now.
Looking to go hyper aggressive onto Soggy as Kiki. Busters in the back lines as well. Where is Soggy? Like, he's cooked. It's like a fried egg.
He's having a gee, he's having a wander.
Having a scenic route.
But he'll end up back in... No, he won't. He'll get rezzed. His mate's there for him. Razor looking after him. But yeah, now Mindfreak are in this position. They can just go super aggressive on the backline every single fight. It's quite a nice position because they're able to play under here and avoid Soggy for as long as possible. Yep. And then kind of just burst out and try and get easy pick.
Here comes the burst. Oh, great cancel. Balls of steel from August as he charges the rocket barrage on Brigitte, the shield bash, but still the whole hog is able to collect Wilco. So player advantage right now for Melbourne Mavericks. HP advantage certainly there too. Damage is being done. Mindfreak losing players across the board, and Melbourne Mavericks start to push their way on forward. Storm arrows from Exerst, not really having too much of an impact, but neither is the rest of Mindfreak.
August getting a little too excited there. He cancels the barrage, which is nice. You don't see that every day, getting a barrage cancelled by a Brig Bash, but pops his ultimate and then runs headfirst into the rest of the enemy team and gets taken out. So unfortunate there. I think he was trying to save Bus, who was back in deep in the back line. Now they have to get through this choke against the Pharaoh again, and they've shown they've struggled against it previously. Ellery's got the bongo jump and the Dragon Strike to come out. Will just be able to combo anything.
Self-destruct there as well for Kiki, which can be very dangerous in this part of the map. So much open ground, and what a great sleep onto Soggy. And the self-destruct is going to go up and down straight on top of him. Does just miss. Thought that was going to be a hole-in-one for sure. Putt-putt goal. Eat your heart out. Well, now Bus is going to have to probably eat his heart out. Nellery doing a lot of damage there. But Bus somehow survives. Kiki will be demeched. No self-destruct to allow him to remake this time.
This opens up the nano barrage for Soggy as he gets one early. Second one comes through, and that's the Graviton Surge from Addy taken out of the fight.
Yeah, that's back for Kiki, but it's too little too late, unfortunately. 45 seconds here. I think the cap should go through for Melbourne Mavericks. Mindfreak just haven't quite done enough. Getting in a position to get the recontest, although looks like they want to. 5v6, mind you. Kiki's still on the respawn. They know that they have Graviton Surge. Can they make something come from this? Well, no. Slip Chip's forcing him away. Swiggle actually does get that kill, however. And now the numbers are there for Mindfreak. Maybe they've played the long game. Maybe they know exactly what their limitations are, and it certainly seems that way. Exerst will be chased down by Bus and Addy, who inevitably does get the kill. Sound barrier now here for Swilko. Of course, the rally for August, it should be enough. Soggy can't do anything with that rocket barrage. And now with 5 seconds left on the clock, Melbourne Mavericks have a long run back to that point. I don't think they're going to make it.
Well played from Aki there. Addy drops down from getting whole hogged into the air, and he gets the nano boost to keep him alive. And that kind of turns the fight there, turns the tide of the fight. And Mindfreak, they're showing up clutch. First, they come back on the first point and surprise us all with that retake.
Yeah.
And then they get a retake there that we thought they were well out of.
Well, it was a 5v6. I was like, you know what? They'll give this one up. They'll make sure they get a good solid defense on third phase. But they knew what they were doing clearly and able to get the job done. It was a touch and go for a moment because that whole hog almost was able to pick up Addy, but not quite in the end.
The Graviton Surge looked a bit rough from Addy there too. He caught Nellery and he just walked out of it with that Fortify active. But Slipchip ended up taking a bath in it and going down. But good signs of life still out of Mavericks. I mean, yeah, it's unfortunate the series is out of reach, and I mean, you really want a good showing when your first debut, I guess.
Yep.
But I think that's been there for them. It's quite difficult to go. They're going up against a second place team in Australian Contenders, and although there is experience on their roster with Truth and Nellery, it's experience that hasn't been together for very long.
Yeah. Look, I don't know what my expectations really were for this Mavericks roster. I certainly didn't expect that they would win this series. I thought maybe they can take a map or two away from Mindfreak, and to be fair, they've been reasonably close in doing so, I'll say. Maybe about where your expectations could have been.
Yeah.
But if it's a 4-0 for Mindfreak, that's not necessarily a bad performance from Mavericks, I don't think. Again, this is more of a build for next season kind of a team, rather than trying to accomplish anything here.
Oh, for sure. And they've got some nice pieces of the puzzle worked out. I think that Exerst is really showing up on the Widowmaker today, which was important because he'd been pretty quiet. We saw him in week 1 versus D-Field get absolutely destroyed, so I think it's important for his confidence to come back and play a good series on Widowmaker versus a good Widowmaker in Addy. Yeah. Although they haven't matched up very well together, like they haven't played Widow at the same time, Exerst has been able to take advantage of when he's had space, which is important.
That is good to see as well. Only one more map in this series left. We know that Mindfreak do confirm the win here. But they'll look for the 4-0. Again, maps, we always talk about it, can be hugely important. Maybe one map is the difference between a second place and a third place for a team like Mindfreak, depending on how results go next week. We really kind of have to keep an eye on that. And in fact, with the loss of Warriors today, there may even be a world in which Mindfreak could still leapfrog them in a way. We'll have to see how that all turns out.
I think it's all on Warriors game next week. If they lose that, then suddenly the standings go into disarray again, and Warriors could end up here, and Mindfreak could end up here. So
you want to give yourself as much room as possible. Make sure you get the 4-0 where it's possible, and it should be possible against a team like Melbourne Mavericks, just to make any job that you have to do next week easier.
Well, yeah, you want to give yourself the best chance to get into like the best position at the end of the season, because that prize money is no joke from the regular season.
Yep.
So I think they'll be licking their lips at the fact they're in second place at the moment, and if Warriors keep stumbling, they could end up in top spot.
I mean, it's 10 grand difference between first and second in the regular season.
Yeah, well, I know that well enough, don't I?
Yeah, exactly.
Order losing the top spot by 1 map last season.
Yep.
Melbourne Mavericks actually handed us that loss, so Mav down.
Mav down.
No, actually, at the moment I'm Maving up. I like what I've seen from them. They're not afraid to play the Soggy on the Genji, the Pharah. That kill on, I think it was Exerst. Oh, no, it's not Exerst. Maybe it was Addy on Anubis. It was quite fancy, actually, with that deflect.
My only thing with this roster is I sort of feel like, what if they would have been this roster from the start of the season? What could have happened for Melbourne Mavericks?
I think they definitely would have been competing with teams like Legacy and Atletico for series wins.
Yeah.
I don't know if they would have been able to match teams like Ground Zero, Mindfreak, Order, and Warriors. But definitely, I think Legacy and Atletico, they could have given a run.
Maybe Drop Bears?
Maybe Drop Bears too, yeah. I mean, especially Drop Bears probably earlier on in the piece. Drop Bears are kind of looking a little bit better now, but they're still struggling hopefully we'll see them tomorrow get their act together and cement themselves into the playoffs.
Well, Havana, the final map of the series and the final map of today as well.
Start off in the mechanics workshop.
Be interested to see what is going to be run here by Mindfreak. I suspect again it'll be more of the same.
It's looking like 3-3 into this bunker composition from the Melbourne Mavericks.
Yep.
Interesting enough, they don't have the Mercy this time. They are running double flex support. I don't know how good Razor is on that Ana, but they've got confidence in him to play it, so good on him.
As we are about to find out a massive spawn camp about to come out from Melbourne Mavericks, or at least that's the attempt.
That was a hook setup. Just no setup actually, just straight away. Manages to catch August with his shield down and punishes him. Addy goes down too, and this is a good opening for the Melbourne Mavericks. They can use these long sight lines with these double sniper composition, plus the Ana and the Zenyatta, heroes that do like to keep their distance.
Now they push forward. Oh, that's
Slip
good sleep onto Slip Chip. Looks like the Bionade's connected onto him as well. And there's just nothing you can do about it at that point as the Roadhog. There's no way to get out.
It's actually a very important thing there from Bus is he drops the shield on top of Slip Chip too, so you know there's no healing from the Ana coming through. It's a very nice little play there from Bus.
Yeah, I think the rest of Melbourne Mavericks is going to be quite cleanly picked up here. That's a bit over-eager from Slip Chip, and it's probably cost his team 0.8.
Truth walking around the corner into his own demise, so they're staggering a little bit here in Melbourne Mavericks. So it's not exactly what you want to do, but Truth has that transcendence.
I don't think that they can get a recontest here. Truth only just now respawning Razor, still waiting for that one.
They will be able to get an early hold off here, I believe, just because they did get the forward spawns, but with this Orisa composition, it's quite difficult to move in fast into position. See Addy trying to get a flank, get some damage in behind that shield, build his ultimate up. Truth is watching the flank. Bust his headshot his way in, but he's going to get the nano boost to top that up.
Yeah, no problems there for Mindfreak. Transcendence is forced by the leap of Bust. Now he'll use Primal Rage as well. This is going to force Razor out. Sleep Dart does just go awry. That said, Melbourne Mavericks are getting the damage they need. Exerst and Soggy, the DPS duo, doing the damage for Melbourne Mavericks. That is going to force Mindfreak away.
Yeah, Bust putting both supports very low, but not finishing them off. It's curious to why he didn't try and go for the extra kill, but he created some space, but unfortunately Soggy was using that space to shoot people in the head. Mindfreak now fully reset. They don't have anything on the side of the Melbourne Mavericks to deal with this Graviton Surge from Addy though, and hopefully he can catch more than the Orisa this time.
I haven't really seen much double sniper setup here in Phase B of Havana. If it works for Melbourne Mavericks, glad to see it. Bust diving forward again, just trying to dislodge the snipers from the high ground.
Yeah, and this Graviton Surge could come out from Addy at any moment. He has built it. Soggy will get the kill on to Bust. So much damage boost with that Discord Orb and that Orisa Bongo Drum down. As we see a pause come out, the players need a moment. And Mindfreak need a moment to think about how they're going to approach this, because they've got the ultimates to do it. They've got a Diva Bomb, a Graviton Surge, but they need to get big value out of this Graviton Surge. So far, when they've played against the bunker comp, Addy's kind of grabbed Nellery and he's just fortified and walked out of it.
Yeah, I think that has been a bit of a recurring theme for Mindfreak, is that Addy, with the grabs, has sometimes hit pretty good ones, but sometimes they have gone a little bit awry. So something I think that Mindfreak will be looking to work on, and probably won't be an issue, I guess, once we get into playoffs, because it's less likely that you're going to be seeing Addy on the Zaya, and more likely that he'll be on the DPS characters. Widowmaker, perhaps. I don't know. But regardless, we'll have a look and see what he's going to be able to do with this one.
Truth getting dangerously close to that Transcendence too, so that could counter Addy's Graviton Surge and make Aki's job a little harder, because he'll need to save that Priority Grenade to use into that grab. So we see Mindfreak taking the scenic route to get to the point, trying to avoid all the damage. Kiki does eat a hook to the face though.
That's not okay. So I guess net Aki a little bit more healing and therefore ultimate charge, but in the meanwhile, Exerst connects another head. That's August. 3 minutes still on the pocket for Mindfreak. It's a lot of time, but they are bleeding it.
Yeah, they are bleeding it, but it's looking a bit sloppy from Mindfreak. I hope they haven't turned their brains off, because they need all the map wins they can get. It's very important, so they need to regroup, refocus. Now they've got 5 ultimates, but the side of Melbourne Mavericks do have that Transcendence, which is a pesky ultimate to counter.
Holds so good, stops Bust in his tracks, now self-destruct Self-destruct goes through. Everyone's safe behind the Orisa shield, however. Now a Graviton Surge from Addy. How many has that collected? Only a couple. It looks like the tanks. But still, so far, so good for Mindfreak. They progress on forward. Soggy with the Storm Arrows is going to get the better of Bust. And Addy trying to trade them back. It's going to be August, in fact, and then Addy with the right click onto Razor. So, Mindfreak finally broken that stand Melbourne Mavericks had here in Phase B.
Yeah, and Addy caught a bit far forward, actually feeding his life off to the Widowmaker and the Roadhog there. But I don't think there's going to be enough time for the recontest. Slipchip looks like he wants to go for it. Don't know if the rest of his team's on the same page, though.
No, certainly not. He's actually going to put the whole hog in here. Razor tries to help out. Now gets on the point as well. It's both of the supports. Truth forward, Razor forward. And this looks pretty messy for Melbourne Mavericks, all on different pages. And even the Supercharger invested in. Mindfreak are going to be cheering, man. Everything was thrown in by Melbourne Mavericks that probably didn't need to be.
I hope they're swapping composition to something else, because that looked very, very messy there. It does look like they're going to stay on it, though, so maybe some wasted ultimates there. Not a lot you want to see, especially going into this third phase where we saw Order snowball previously. Now Slipchip's actually gone to the Ash, so they've gone to 3 snipers essentially, 4 if you count the Ana. They're going for as much long-range damage as they can, but Mindfreak have this Lucio, and Lucio's pretty good versus the snipers in this composition because you can get on top of them pretty quickly, especially Big Bustle with his Primal Rage. An Angry Monkey now.
He's an Angry Monkey diving straight on in. Nothing to be done for the supports. Kiki catches Razor with the side of his self-destruct. Bust hasn't really done a whole lot with that Primal Rage, but it does really force Melbourne Mavericks out of position, and that has allowed the payload to push forward quite substantially. So while there's not much going up on the kill feed there for Bust, definitely a lot to be said for that Primal Rage having value. Look at how far it's got Mindfreak.
He's received the nano boost now, but he's greeted by a spawn door, nothing in it, so probably want that one back if you're Aki, but they're holding these spawns so tight, and Nellory's been forced to go to the wrecking ball to contest the card.
I don't know that this is going to work out too nicely for Melbourne Mavericks. Seems to have really fallen apart since that final attempt on Phase B. Still Slipchip able to get some good damage onto Bust, and Addy goes low as well.
He's getting close to this bob.
Doesn't quite get finished off, however, and that could be the nail in the coffin for Mindfreak. Kiki will get D-mech, but we're coming up on to a sound barrier from Swilko, which should be able to push them on through if the players can survive long enough, which they don't. Kiki and August do go down. Swilko's 99% of sound barrier. Mindfreak have to reset.
This is kind of where you want to be if you're Melbourne Mavericks. So the card's in a position where they have to take these long runs to get to it. Opens up the sight lines of these heroes. Soggy swaps off. Was he on Hanzo to Farah now, which is interesting to say the least, because it's not a point where I'd expect a Farah to be played. There's not many roofs to play around really, so not many places to hide. Might be very vulnerable to Kiki flying at him here. But Slipchip has that bob, and I think that's going to be a key to this fight. It's going to be hard for Mindfreak to remove that bob from the
Man,
point.
I would love to see Nellory just swing on in with that wrecking ball and knock them all off the side.
Might try it. No, you coward.
Yeah.
Go for it. I would have gone for it. Failed it.
I probably would have as well.
Lots of ults on the side of Mindfreak coming up. This is probably their best opportunity to cap this point. They really need to make it.
There's still chances for him to boop him. Here he goes, tries his best, but there's no real chance of that happening. Self-destruct through. This time it'll catch Exerst every time. Kiki's getting one. Slipchip's not really being able to put too much damage in here with the Ash. Soggy. The Graviton Surge is his point of landing, which is not really where you want to be. And Mindfreak are having a much better fight this time. Nellory is going to just back away for the moment. We'll be able to get the recontest when necessary. Pile driver onto quite a number of players, but with so much available still for Mindfreak. Rallies up, nano boost goes through onto a Bus. Have to expect that they should be able to get this map finished off pretty cleanly.
Certainly will. It is in overtime though, so not the cleanest as they would have liked. A bit of time in the bank to play with, but getting the map finished on Havana is good enough for me. Some interesting comps out from the side of the Melbourne Mavericks, favouring those long distance sniper type deals, but that Bob just got put to sleep, didn't get anything done. And if your Bob's going to get put to sleep like that, you at least want it on the card so it's doing something.
Yeah, well, I guess that's a pretty good good job done from Mindfreak.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah, it took a while to get through point A, but once that was done, it didn't really seem to be too much of a problem. Yeah, right, mission accomplished. So far, they've been fairly decent on the defense. I guess Temple of Anubis left a bit to be desired, but Hollywood, once they were in that payload phase, they were really solid there. So I think it's within the realm's possibility that Mindfreak hold Melbourne Mavericks here.
Certainly is, especially as Havana is a difficult map to cap out. These long sightlines on the third point can be difficult to play around. Even the high grounds on the second point really favour the defenders because they're able to get up on there and kind of stop you as you're trying to run in. It's very difficult to dislodge them. First point can be a pretty defense favour too, just because of the architecture of the map, as we see another pause come through, which will give us some camera time, which we definitely do need.
I don't know if we necessarily do need that, Smash. You have
What,
probably
you don't want to be on camera?
giving yourselves too many props. I mean, look at this guy.
Look at this guy. You got a wave in your hair. I could hang 10 on that.
It's a tsunami at this point, really.
It is a bit of a tsunami.
You want to be a bit careful, I think, Smash.
Might get a haircut tomorrow, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What are you going to go for?
Oh, I'll tell you what. I'll get a
Short on
mohawk
sides?
if the Mavs win this.
The Mavs win this map.
Yeah, I'll get a mohawk tomorrow.
Let's go, Mavs.
Mav up?
Mav up.
Mav
I'm
up.
Maving up.
I don't know if Pete will let me.
I'm pretty sure he would.
Sure. All right.
If you get the mohawk, you have to colour it the same colour as Melbourne Mavericks as well. So blue.
No, I was going to do the project
red.
and shave the Mav into the side of the head. You know how he does the
yeah.
team icons and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be fun.
I don't know if you could pull that off.
No, I couldn't. I'd look horrible. I'd look awful, but I mean, it's only up from there.
And how long do you have to keep it for if you do it?
I don't know. My hair grows pretty fast. I think it'll be right by MEO. How is it? 4 or 5 weeks?
Yeah, it's about 4
So,
weeks
yeah.
from now, 5 weeks from now.
It grows like weeds, my hair.
September 1st. What date is it today?
Like the 20 something. Of
Yeah,
June.
so it's about 5 weeks.
Yeah.
21st.
Be right.
There you go. Should be plenty of time. Apparently, Kiki's power has dropped. So that's
Useless.
That's not good.
That's alright. Well, no, it's not good at all actually because he's a very important part of the team.
How long does it take for you to get power back?
Well, you can't just tether power from your phone.
I know, that's right.
so-
Like when your internet goes down, you just put your 4G on.
Yeah, I don't know. This is an interesting situation for Kiki. Maybe he needs to go run over to his mate's place. I don't know, him
Run
and
down to the
Atar
internet
close.
cafe.
There is an internet cafe. I can't remember where he lives. Oh well.
What about subs? Does MF have subs?
They have
listed.
Slids as their sub, I
Slids or
believe.
Bliss
Yeah.
are listed as subs.
But can you sub in someone mid-map?
I think in a situation like that, right, you would. Otherwise, you have to forfeit. I don't think.
Yeah, you have to forfeit. But
You were the manager of an Overwatch Contenders team,
Yeah,
mate.
but-
You tell me.
I had all my players, set up perfectly.
Uh-huh.
There was never ever a problem with
I
me.
never had any problems with order games.
No, not in the game. Out of the game, yeah, but
Yeah.
not in the game. They're pretty good in the game.
Okay.
Just out of the game, they can get into a bit of trouble. If you've seen Unta's Twitter posts.
What kind of trouble did you guys get up to in Shanghai?
We okay, so
Who was the baddest baddie? In
probably
Shanghai?
me actually. I stole a box of chocolate bars from Element Mystic, but RQT convinced me to drop them back and give them back. But,
Wow.
So because we finished all our chocolate bars, and Element Mystic had a full box. They hadn't touched it for a whole day, and I was like, well, they're not eating it.
Yeah.
Give me some chocolate bars. I was sitting there doing nothing all day because I didn't have a computer. So I
That's
wanted
the
my
great
chocolate
divide
bars.
between Oceanic and Korean Overwatch. It's because of you.
No, they were lovely. They were so polite. There's some good stories that probably can't be told on stream, but
Well, we've got time.
oh well. I mean, there was a beautiful moment between Sparkle and Unta. Actually,
Yeah.
there
Is
was
that the Twitter pic?
no. There was more beautiful moments. Actually, a beautiful moment in the bathroom. In fact,
I don't
But
know if
it's-
I want to know.
it is PG.
Okay, go ahead then.
So there was no toilet paper. Max was in strife. There was no toilet paper.
Max was in strife.
He was yeah.
He
And
could have just shaved his mustache off. Use that.
No,
been
and then
fine.
all of a sudden, Sparkle hands him minion tissues under the stall and saved Max's life.
I can't believe that. Wouldn't you just throw it over?
No, over under it doesn't.
But
really
I mean,
matter,
to be
is it?
fair, for Unta, that's probably a pretty dumb situation to get caught in China. It's like the one thing you know when you go to China is there's not going to be any toilet paper. in
Yeah, I
any
guess.
public toilet.
But
So you always
I mean, it was
carry a
toilet,
little.
but yeah, I
You,
guess.
you go to your hotel, you take the first roll of toilet paper, put it in your backpack. You're sweet.
I didn't know that. You've been to China.
I've been to China like 3 times.
See, we've been in once.
Yeah.
And
Should have asked me for some tips.
Should have.
I've told you
Apparently.
exactly what's going on.
Exactly what's going on.
I can't tell you what's going on right now. We're still waiting for Kiki, I guess, to get his power back. Meanwhile, we're talking about toilets in China. I mean,
Of course.
what more could you want?
The only other strife we got up to is running down the hallway of the hotel and turning lights on and off and stuff like that. Childish stuff as you do.
There are a couple of children on that.
Yeah, but it was the big children that were doing. Oh, I'll tell
Yuki.
you what.
It was Yuki.
No, it was actually RQT. He was running around and we were all turning him off after him. He was running around like an idiot, village idiot. He was having fun though.
I would have expected he would be a bit more serious than that. Coach of the team.
No, when you get him overseas and he's having fun, he's a very silly bugger.
Hard to get him to have fun though.
No, yeah, it is hard to get him to have
Alright.
fun. He's very professional.
There you go. Well, still waiting for.
You got more stories?
Yeah, I mean, I've
Well,
got no update for you, Smash. So just yeah.
It was Quats and Adam being very annoying. So Signs and I were in a room at one end of the hallway. They were at the other end. Quats would always run in, you know, the ding-dong ditch.
Okay.
Poor Dale locked himself out of the room twice doing that.
How?
Well, because he, like, answered the door and nobody was there. And then he stepped outside because he knew it was someone playing tricks. And he tried to find the person. The door closes behind him. He doesn't have his key on him. So then he knocks on the door, let me in. Yeah.
Can't believe it.
Stuff like that. It was a good experience, though. Not a good experience for the Oceania community and scene, though, going 0-6, but
yep.
at least the boys had
next
fun.
time. When is the next time going to be? Unfortunately, probably not soon.
2020 Season 1,
Yeah.
if they do a gauntlet there. Should be fun. I'll gotta go back to managing for that so I get the free trip.
Well, you might get the free trip. Maybe you get to go cast it.
That'd be a dream come true, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
We had Kevin Pixie over there doing it
Exactly.
in China. They did a good job. They were stuck in some awkward situations.
Yeah, very, very long days for those boys.
Yeah.
I would have not been too keen on doing, 5 matches in one day.
Yeah, I think
I
they had
struggle to
5 matches
cast
in one
2.
day.
Like
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now, I'm like, oh, I'm ready to go to sleep
I
now.
want to go to bed. I want to
Yeah.
go home.
5 games in one day, that's a lot. Anyway, I'm told Kiki is coming back in, guys, so sorry for the pause, but we're getting there. Luckily, seems to have been not as long as I expected it might have been.
No.
That could have definitely been longer with power going out or something like that. So we'll get there soon.
Thank you to Marcus for
Big team.
gracing us with his presence once more, so we can get back into the game. It's been a long day, hasn't it?
Has
Well,
been
the first series was so quick, but this series has dragged on a little bit as that Temple of Anubis really threw a spanner in the works.
All right, we're back, everybody. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for waiting. And for anyone that didn't like our fill, well, bad luck. I like talking about my hair and
Chinese toilets?
Chinese toilets, so as long as I'm entertained, that's what matters.
We need to crack open some of those at MEO. Oh, and they're off the screen now with the bottles of rum. I think there'll be some celebrations. Celebrations of Overwatch at MEO as well. It's always good to go to these events. You get to meet all the people that you play with online and get to see some new faces too. And as Mindfreak set up for this aggressive hold on their GOATS composition or their 3-3 composition. And Mavericks have started on this bunker buster. Ooh, and Exerst has already found a pick onto Spilko in the house. How has he done that?
I don't even know how that has happened. It's a headshot from Storm Arrow. Well, that much I can tell you, but what angle he took to get it, so sure. Mindfreak are going to explode straight back out on the defense though. They get a couple of their own, but 1-for-1 trades essentially favour Melbourne Mavericks here. Their respawn's a lot faster.
They certainly do, but Aki's hit a nice sleep on the card again. Soggy going to sleep. I don't think the sustain is here for Mindfreak. They're dropping very low and Spilko getting very aggressive now.
Nice dynamite through, a good headshot as well. I think that was onto Addy, which will then be finished off onto True. All said and done. This is looking pretty good for Melbourne Mavericks.
Yeah, and the card's been pushing a little bit too. Bus coming back on the right hard, getting shield up. Soggy's able to get this angle above him and he'll go down and Kiki will follow and Aki just spewing onto the cart now to just delay any time they can. Mindfreak, they're not looking good on ultimates either. They're only the 34% on Addy's Graviton Surge. Also the Brigitte ult, which is very good on these retakes, is only at 60. So Aki and Bus are going to have to make a play here. I think the nano boost onto the Winston is going to need to find at least 1 kill. As the side of Melbourne Mavericks have 5 ultimates ready to go to combat these aggressive Mindfreak players.
Well, maybe if Bus can spot out Exerst, which it looks like he has, forces him off the high ground. We're looking for Dragon Strike right now. Soggy at least able to get 1 with his Rocket Barrage. Bus doesn't receive the nano boost, but that's straight on top of Exerst, who's spamming arrows into his face. What you can do at that point as a Winston kill from Aki with the Bionade does keep himself alive as well, but realistically speaking, it's only for a short matter of time.
Yeah, there was just a big ultimate disadvantage there for Mindfreak. Unfortunately, they caught themselves in a position, took a poor fight on P1 and got snowballed a little bit. But now this kind of evens up the ultimate banks. Although there are none on Mindfreak, they'll get an opportunity to poke up a little bit before the fight. The double damage boost is available for the Melbourne Mavericks, so Exerst is going to shred Bus if he jumps in unawares. It's going to be very important for Kiki to eat those storm arrows, I think. Set up for the fight. This could be a bad one for the side of Mindfreak. They have managed to dominate this high ground and push the enemy team off, which is quite important for this GOATS composition because you can get those anti-nades on the back line, you can get the Zarya right clicks in to build that ultimate charge. That's where it's going to come from.
Coming out from the Storm Arrows once again. Nellery sitting on top of the cart, just spamming away. Good damage coming out from that, and the cart continues to progress. Mindfreak now finally cottoning on as they push back over to try and contest that one. But numbers are there for Melbourne Mavericks. That said, Addy, the kill onto Exos, does start to swing it back in the favour of Mindfreak, and they'll continue the chase. Truth drops as well.
Yeah, giving up that high ground is just so such a detriment because maybe they could have had Slip pushing the car or someone else pushing the car, maybe it was Exerst, but having Nellery not being setting up on that high ground means that it's so easy for Mindfreak to take, and it's so important because of that priority grenade and the ability for the Winston to just jump in for free, and you saw the Nano Boost come out and that really opened the fight up, opened the room up inside of Mindfreak. And all they needed was a little bit of room and they were set.
On Surge, we're looking for it from Addy, and he'll get a decent one on through. This is off Truth. Soggy in the meanwhile was able to finish one with his rocket barrage, but now Bust chasing them all down. He's got a lot of freedom here. Melbourne Mavericks having lost a couple of their players. Exerst will be the one that he really wants to get out of the picture.
Yeah, that rocket barrage was in a very one-and-done position as Aki was so far away from his team, but he knew that he couldn't really stack with them because playing Ana, it's not exactly optimal. You want to have a little bit of distance between you and your enemies. So he blows Aki up, but then he's not really in the fight to contribute after that. The dive from Mindfreak is good enough to push the Melbourne Mavericks all the way back to their spawn. Nellery now swaps over to the Wrecking Ball. As Bust pops his primal rage. What will he get done here?
To just try and lock up Slipchip. There's not really a whole lot that Slipchip can do about that. A few players falling on the wayside as well. That's a great kill though onto Razor. Jumps behind him, knocks him back into his team, and then follows up onto Truth. No way to get out of that one for the supports. That was a very nice primal rage for Bust.
Yeah, it was 4 in the fight for Big Bustle. He was going buck wild. Going on monkey madness in there. They managed to trade out a little bit. There was a moment where I thought that maybe Max could get back into the fight, but Bust showing his primal rage mechanics once more. There's another aggressive dive, and Soggy and Razor are going to go down very quickly here.
Nellery giving the Wrecking Ball a crack this time. And didn't work out too nicely before. To switch on forward, but realistically that's all that Mindfreak is doing, and Melbourne Mavericks are really pushing too much.
He did manage to lose his mech once more. He's done that a few times this round, but it doesn't seem to be punished at all by Melbourne Mavericks. And it is very hard to get a Pharah in here, so I'm curious to why as they keep keeping it up. And Soggy just blows his ultimate and kills Aki. I think that's about as much value as you're going to get out of it anyway, and runs into a wild Addy, and you don't want to be doing that too often.
I'll dive straight into, well, not a whole lot. I think the Graviton Surge does eventually collect on Nellery and quite a few more Melbourne Mavericks players, and the damage actually hasn't come through from Mindfreak. Everything thrown in there from Melbourne Mavericks, and they come out of it with the advantage. That's crazy. They still have a long way to push here in Phase B, so Mindfreak, I think, have done their job, and now it's a case of finishing off Melbourne Mavericks.
Yeah, the cart's rolled back a long way, but Slipchip has managed to swap over to Sombra and build himself an EMP, which can be comboed very nicely with this barrage, or Nellery's ultimate, in fact. So they could have a good chance going into this fight. Swiffer's beat will be important if he can build it up in time. Will he get it stripped off? Will he track this ultimate? It is a very quick one from Slipchip.
Maybe August is going to hack in there, I don't know. It's too late. It doesn't matter. Swilko's not going to have the ult in time. Soggy does drop to Bust, so all considered it's 1-for-1 until Bust does fall himself. So close to the primal rage. That's a bitter pill to swallow for Mindfreak, because it might just have saved this point, but now there'll be no saving this one. Exerst is on a rampage. The Overwatch symbol down as well. Could have thought of a better one than that. Come on, surely Exerst.
I reckon he thought he got max play of the game there, dropping the symbol at the end. You know, sometimes when you're playing matchmaking, you drop the symbol or you drop the spray.
We need a Macca's.
That'd be nice, actually.
So I swapping up for Melbourne Mavericks?
I'll get on the phone to Jeff to organise that one next week.
Thank you. If there's one thing you're good for, it's getting on the phone with Jeff.
Got a direct line to the big caps. So we see Addy swapping up as well, back onto this 3-3 based composition. August was on the Sombra for a little bit, but he's decided to get off it. Melbourne Mavericks have gone over to this double sniper, Slipchip on the Roadhog, so it is a very much bunker based composition. As Mindfreak go aggressive, and they will try and defend the card here.
Self-destruct from Kiki, won't really find a whole lot. Does get the remake back across safely, and now time to charge back on into the fight. Mindfreak, having already lost Bust, however, don't really want a full commitment here. They just want to dance around the point as long as possible, buy as much time as they can. Kiki looking to pick up some health.
You're powered up. Get in there.
Looks to be an ultimate going through on Melbourne Mavericks.
Nice sleep. So they wake him
Perfect sleep, but
up.
They woke him up. Smash is so sad about that. You can hear it in his voice.
Soggy will not go down and they will get some shots out. They do like nano boosting this Hanzo though. They've done it quite a few times. Just getting punted around by Bus and another nice sleep. Don't wake this one up, please. But the time is ticking down and they're not getting any meterage on this card. It is going to get a parking ticket if it keeps this up.
It certainly is. Kiki pushes back forward to control that high ground. They really want to keep Melbourne Mavericks away from that area.
Smoko during the...
Will go. Was
Gets
he
his feet cancelled, yeah, by the Dragon.
That's no good at all, but still, Bat's winnable for Mindfreak. No, I might have spoken too soon. Addy throws the grab. I don't know about that one. I think that could have been used later on down the track. Buster's got a nano boost on him as well. Mindfreak have literally dumped everything, apart from the self-destruct there.
But Jordan, Kiki's got the big bomb. I reckon it could be good here if he catches Nellery without a shield. Nellery throws the shield down. Kiki identifies that and he throws it over the top of the cart. There isn't much to defend against it, so it's all on Kiki now. Bus goes onto the ball. He could set up the Diva Bomb here. We saw Adam get some 3Ks. Can Kiki one-up him? We've seen him get a 5K. He's going to throw it in.
Yep, certainly is. And that is actually a good-looking one. Yes,
It's
it is! Exer, Soggy Truth. Great combo as well with Bus. I think he got the pile driver in there to lock him up. I can't believe that's worked so well for Mindfreak. But they finish it off 4-0. I mean, that was a really, really nice self-destruct. That was perfect from Mindfreak. Credit for that.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it coming a mile away. A bit of a visionary for these things, but...
Oh, yeah.
No, that was really well played from Mindfreak. Obviously, the overinvestment of ults the fight previously, but Kiki kept his cool, jumped off the map, took it off. He was like, nah, this fight's donezo. I'm not committing my ultimate, and managed to save it, set it up with Bus, and that's that teamwork that Mindfreak's showing consistently. We've seen Bus using this Wrecking Ball. Addy's been able to get the headshots off it. Kiki's been able to get a Diva Bomb off it now, and the Mindfreak teamwork is just so exceptional. I mean, they might not have like the strongest individual players, like a team like Order or Warriors, but they really make up for it for teamwork.
Yeah, what a great Diva Bomb. That was looking really dire. Really dire.
If we went to overtime there, it would have become one of those situations where both teams have a minute and it gets very, very hairy quickly.
Yep.
But Kiki and Bus saving the day. That tank duo that's new this season, they've done so much work for Mindfreak this season already.
Well, 4 maps on the board for Mindfreak today. You'll be pretty happy with that. I guess it's business as usual for Melbourne Mavericks, though no real expectations on them, so I guess you can't be too disappointed. But that sort of sets us up for a super interesting final week of the season. I mean, there's a potential run into first or second place for the likes of Order, Mindfreak, Warriors if they lose to Sydney Drop Bears. We've still got 2 more matches this week, which is tomorrow, to kind of give us a bit more of an idea as to what we're going to be getting there as well.
Yeah.
I mean, just having seen those first couple of matches, I think we're setting things up quite nicely for next week.
Yeah, next week is going to be definitely, leading into the final week as well, it's going to be very, very curious to see what happens there. This is that beautiful Diva Bomb at the end.
Yeah, you can see the knock up there as well from Bus.
Perfectly timed. That's the teamwork you want to see out of these teams now that they've been together for a little bit longer. Kiki and Bus have been playing together now 5-6 weeks. You know, they're getting their groove, and those 2 players have been exceptional for Mindfreak, and they really lifted the Mindfreak brand to another level in Overwatch this season.
Yeah, definitely. They've been on a slow progression, that's for sure, but on the up and up for the team Mindfreak, which is kind of good to see. When they came in the first season, thought, okay, they're probably not a team that's going to make it to playoffs. The following season, we're like, still sort of similar.
Yep.
Now they're kind of here. So things have been going pretty well for Mindfreak, and you kind of can follow the progression up to this point for the likes of, even similar to like Serenity. When they first started, they were pretty far down. Eventually they became Melbourne Mavericks, looked pretty good. Now they're all over the place, really. But they're kind of getting the same sort of a feeling out from Mindfreak, I think.
Yeah, certainly. I think there's a lot of talent on that Mindfreak roster, and now that they've kind of glued themselves together and they've committed themselves for the season, they're really showing up. Very impressed with how August has adapted to Contenders Australia and playing at a high level again. So, good signs. Mindfreak could be a contender this season.
Could be indeed. Who's a contender for the Macca's Player of the Game today? It's Mindfreak and Melbourne Mavericks, and the Player of the Game goes to Soggy on Farah.
Yeah, we were a bit spoiled for choice in this series, but this barrage out of Soggy was really good. You see Bus jumping in to try and stop him, but he couldn't, and this kind of opened the point up for the side of the Melbourne Mavericks. Bus had some good plays himself, but I think Soggy really tracked him well there and took him out.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate for Bus, but not much you can do about that one. Anyway, it's pretty good, I think, at least for Mindfreak today to be able to continue on where they sort of left off. Obviously, losing last week against Order was like a bit of a, oh, hang on, wake-up call there for Mindfreak. But now they're kind of back in action, looking at who they have to face next week. They'll have to obviously